The search for truth. One man's investigative journey is on display for all to see in theaters tomorrow. The Red Sea Miracle is a documentary that sifts through historical evidence for the biblical accounts of the parting of the Red Sea, leading the Israelites out of Egypt. I caught up with award-winning filmmaker Tim Mahoney to learn more. Hi, Tim. Thanks so much for joining us today. Before we get into the Red Sea Miracle, bring our viewers up to speed. So this is the third film in a series investigating the historical claims of the Bible, right?
That's correct.
So you started this journey about 20 years ago. What was your inspiration behind it?
I grew up, my mother reading the Bible to me, and I had heard about Moses and the Exodus and a lot of these stories as a child. And so when the opportunity came to go to Egypt and actually investigate the biblical account, I was very excited to do that. But what happened was when I got there, I was told that there wasn't any evidence. And that caused me to have a crisis of faith. And the result of that has been the last 20 years, an amazing investigation where I've been able to find patterns of evidence that match the biblical account.
Why do you think it's so important for the narrative of the Bible to be backed up historically?
Well, because the first 5 books of the Bible are the foundation, and we understand creation, we understand so many things about that. And it's the other books of the Bible reference back to it. Even Jesus talks about Moses. And what I found out was that when people discredit the early narrative of the Bible, it then causes questions for the rest of it because of the, saying that this is true, and some people are saying, well, how could Jesus' words be true if there wasn't a Moses? So that's the reason why this is so important to have this type of investigation.
Okay, so we want our viewers to take a look at the 30-second trailer that you guys have out for the Red Sea Miracle.
For almost 20 years, I've been searching for evidence of the miraculous parting of the Red Sea. Now I must find the route that led them there, where Pharaoh trapped Moses and the Israelites. Patterns of Evidence, The Red Sea Miracle, February 18th. Get tickets today.
So why did you call this one the Red Sea Miracle?
Well, this investigation, it really boils down to a miracle again. In fact, throughout the narrative of the Bible, there's one miracle after another. And this first one, it's actually a 2-part film. The Red Sea Miracle, part 1 is February 18th. But this first part is dealing with the miracle of how many people left Egypt. What was this pillar of fire and this cloud? And, what sea did they come to? And that's what we're looking at in part 1. In part 2, we're going to even be looking further at miracles. Do miracles happen and how do they happen?
Part 1 coming out tomorrow, February 18th. I know you don't want to give it away, everything, but can you just give maybe an example of a small amount of evidence that you have found that will be in the film?
Sure. Well, in 2002, the first time I went to Egypt, I went to a dig site and I met with a professor, Manfred Bitek, and he actually caused me to go to have a crisis of faith, because when I asked him if there's any evidence for the Israelites, he said, so far, not. Well, in this new film that we're coming out, I meet him again, but this time he's going to show me an amazing pattern of evidence that he's found, and it's in the same area that we were looking at before, but now he's shifted and he's actually becoming an advocate for the narrative of the Bible.
I know in a previous interview that I saw you do, you mentioned that there was the discovery of a lake.
That's right. And what's unusual about this lake is it had a very special name. And the name was Gesem, or similar to Goshen. And so it was matching the narrative of the Bible, the account of the Bible, that the Israelites came to live at this lake, to live in this area called Goshen. But what's unusual is this is not an Egyptian name. This is a Hebrew or Semitic name. So he said, well, why in the world would this name be here in Egypt? It had to have been, he believes, connected to the Israelites.
Okay, very, very cool. I know a lot of people are excited to see this film. And again, for those watching in our area, we have showings in Roanoke, Christiansburg, and Danville. And Tim, what's the best way to get tickets?
You can get tickets at patternsofevidence.com. That's patternsofevidence.com, and you can go in there, put your zip code in, and find the theater and pre-purchase your tickets, because I know, I've been looking, they're selling a lot of tickets now around the country, and you should get them ahead of time.